Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And it is September the 9th, Friday, 2022 at approximately 13:15 Central Time. And we're going to have a shave here. I've got about 36, not quite 48 hours worth of whisker growth on my face. And let's go over the equipment that we're going to use this morning. And next up in the regular rotation, and I'm trying to finish my current rotation so I can take a new set with me when I go on my next load, departing out of Houston on Monday morning, if everything stays on schedule. But we're using the C-Mon, beautiful 5/8 razor. Look at those scales with the bolster end cap on it. Just absolute, and the inlay there, 3-pin, and it's the hand-forged look on the tang, and it says C-Mon HF, which means hand-forged, as I understand it, right there, as you can see. I hope you can see. Anyway, on the back side, it says, a little difficult to read without my, it says something New York. The etching is a little thin back there. But anyway, and that was honed up on a Dan's Whetstone, hard black, surgical black. And last I used it, it was real good. I had an inquiry about this razor about a week ago or within the last week from novice wet shaver at the Shaving Cadre. Sent him some pictures, and I think he was interested in a model or trying to find something like it. For our soap this morning, in recognition of my upcoming trip load going to Oregon, we're going to use Stirling Soap Company Mountain Man. Yep. And there's a little bit of a discussion on the Shaving Cadre this last week on Osage rub. And so this has got, even though it's a menthol or eucalyptus, you know, it's a little bit of a piney scent. So I'm going to go with that after the usage of the Mountain Man soap. Our brush this morning is going to be my usual standby for when I'm at home. This sits on my sink with the nice silver, or nickel rather. And so this is a 24 millimeter premium Silvertip Badger set in nickel. And it's just a delightful brush. And I've made mention of this before, how my wife got that for me as a gift from the Art of Shaving in Las Vegas when she went on a business trip there about 2.5 years ago or so. All right, with that, I just had a nice shower and shave, or pardon me, nice hot shower, which reminds me, I picked these up at one of the truck stops, Duke and Cannon bar soaps, and this one is Bush. It's what is a beer soap. It smells nice to me. I don't know that it smells like beer, but that's what it says. And the other one I got, I've used this a few times, and that's the what is it? Whiskey Big American Bourbon soap. And so these are very nice. They're a little expensive, if you ask me. I even went online and looked at them, and they're about $10 or so a bar. And so I enjoy those. They smell quite nice. And so that's what I used in the shower this morning, the beer, Bush beer. Okay. We got home yesterday, just about 24 hours ago. we went to Conroe Lake, Lake Conroe, near Willis, near to the west of Conroe, Texas. And right there, Willis, Texas sits just on, I think it sits on one side, the east side of the lake. And there's a nice little cottage cabin resort that we go to and have been going to for the last, I've been there twice now. My wife has been there 3 times. She got a day pass to go fishing there. They got a nice, it sits right on the lakes. Half of the cabins sit with the back balcony overlooking the lake, and you can fish from it. That's a nice setup that they have there. So she went fishing. She likes to fish, catfish and bluegill. And I don't think it's very deep right off of there, but it's good enough for, I don't think that's the kind of place you would go bass fishing. But, you know, she enjoys it, and it's more of a relaxation thing. And it certainly is for me. I've kind of given up fishing. I've never been a very good fisherman. Grew up in Oregon, never caught a thing. The occasional small trout, nothing. No steelhead, no big rainbow. But, so for me, we went over there on Monday afternoon. We got home yesterday on Thursday, so we were Tuesday, Wednesday, and 2 parts of days on Monday and Thursday. And got a very nice scent. I can't say that it smells piney or outdoors. It smells masculine, however. So let me say, if you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Hit the like and subscribe button if you would, please. Get future notifications on my new videos that come out 2-3 times a week. I shave every other day approximately, sometimes more, sometimes less. And we're just having fun. I have no commercial interests. I counted up approximately, I've got about 60 to 65 soaps, and it's going to take me about 14 months to work in rotation. And so I just shave because I love straight razors. Love straight razor shaving. Been doing it now for just over 7 years. And I've been doing videos now for, since the fall of last year. I'm on number 138, I guess it is. I don't know. And so I've got approximately 60 straight razors, and that's all I use is a straight razor to shave with. And I love it. Always learning something new every time, watching others, which reminds me, once you have hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification button, going over to the Shaving Cadre, theshavingcadre.com, and join the conversation, make an account. Got lots of, it's dedicated to wet shaving, things other than straight razors. But there's a group of us over there that just love straight razors. And it's the friendliest and nicest, most inviting group that you'll find on the internet. And that's based on my experience. And I enjoy the fellas. In fact, I even had a private phone call with one this morning. and you know, just a little chit chat and nothing to do with shaving at all. All right, here we go. We're using the C-Mon 5/8 surgical black edge. Almost going to baloop there, baloop. And let me give a shout out to my usual comrades, Handle Barber Dave, Major Rich, Nurse Dave, Bill M, The Cutthroat Journey, Scuttle Soap, Lukey 3262, also known as Matt, and all great straight razor shavers. Okay. I don't have a lot specifically to talk about. I've been home for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks come Monday. And that's when I depart. My first week home, I got home on a Monday. I had a doctor's appointment on a Tuesday. I told you about my eyes with the little bit of bleeding the doctor detected 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. And I came back for a follow-up exam. And she referred me on over to the specialist on last Tuesday. And that appointment was on Thursday, the specialist. And so, and I'd also had Labor Day weekend off. And so that killed the first week, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to go into all the, but we're fine. My wife and I are doing just fine. And so I called in on that Monday, of this week, Monday of this week. Today's Friday, so Monday, and inquired about a load. And they said, yeah, we got a load going to Oregon, but it doesn't leave till next Monday, a week from when I called in. And I said, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. If you're content to put me on that load, I am content to take that load. And so that's how that worked out. Most of the time when I get in from a load and I sign the board and I go home, I have no idea when that phone call is going to come for my next load. And which makes it impossible, you know, when you're on an on-call status like that, it makes it impossible to make any plans or, you know, go away for a couple of days. It's just impossible. So if dispatch wants to give me a pre-assigned load that's still a week out, that's like giving me a week's worth of vacation guaranteed. And so that's just fine. You know, all that time is paid off, or not paid time off. Time off, anyway, you get the idea. It's not paid. And that's okay. I mean, this particular load, like the last load, there's going to be a backhaul. And when I say a backhaul, you may have watched me enough to know that you know what I mean. But one of my buddies, in fact, my buddy out in Oregon that I go see frequently when I go out to Oregon, he didn't understand what the term backhaul meant. And all that means is that once I get delivered of the primary load from Houston to Portland, then I got to go get washed out. I've got to make my way to where all on a certain schedule, you understand. I've got to get washed out, then I've got to make my way to where I'm going to get loaded a second time in the Portland larger, greater vicinity. And then I get, whether I come back to Houston or whether I go back to you may remember last time, when I got delivered in Salt Lake City, now I was supposed to pick up a second load and take it back to Columbus, Ohio. That would be a backhaul. Technically, it's not a backhaul. It's just a secondary load. The idea of a backhaul is to get you back to Houston, get you back into Texas. Now the weight, the straight razor is doing just fine. And so far, so am I. Yeah, I'm not nicking myself, cutting myself. Doing just fine. I'm not particularly trying to rush this morning. I'm about 21 minutes into the video, and that's okay. Now, we're coming up on the winter season. For DOT and trucking purposes, and particularly in the hazmat tanker class, winter officially starts on December the 1st. These chemical companies that we haul their hazmat chemicals, winter regulations go into effect September the 1st. I believe it is. It might be September 30th, but nonetheless, it's not a big deal. All you got to do is, the primary requirement in mountain driving, which means all the mountain states, 13 Western states, when they have their chain laws in effect, a big winter storm blows through, you got snow and ice, is that you got to carry chains. That's the big thing. Now here's our company policy is, we never use chains. We don't use them. We don't put them on the wheels. And so if we have a chain law in effect, which means you got to keep up with what's going on ahead, and there's easy ways to do that. We just pull over and stop. And we get paid for that stop time. It's called inclement weather. Got myself there a little bit high on the cheek there. And so the chain laws go into effect and we stop and wait till the roads are passable before we continue on. But I've checked the weather forecasts and there's nothing in the forecast for the next week. To concern myself with, to alarm myself with, so I'm not worried. I am not worried about what, and most of the time, now I won't say in the mountains, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Oregon, there's several mountain passes we got to go through in each of those states. But it's never been a problem. No, so many years going in and out of Canada, Toronto, during the winter, and that's some of the worst storms I've seen have been up there. Saskatchewan, I remember one storm, it's right up there at the top. One of the worst storms I've ever been in was, I had to take a tanker trailer and go get the temperature steamed on the trailer, steamed up to, I'm sure it was above 100, 200 degrees. The tractor will keep a product circulation on what they call in-transit heat at about 115 degrees. Anything more than that, we got to stop and get it high pressure steamed to whatever temperature. Anyway, that can be anywhere from 200 to 300 degrees usually. And so then you travel to where you're going to, and hopefully the outside temperature doesn't bring the product temperature down. You know, if you're traveling in minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and you've got to deliver, you got outside temperature minus 25 Fahrenheit, you've got to deliver at 150 degrees plus Fahrenheit. That outside temperature can, so you may have to start, depending on how many miles you got to go, you may have to heat that stuff up to 300 degrees to get to your delivery temperature so it doesn't fall. Now, I've had products, and you know, they fall below a certain temperature. Some products have a tendency to freeze up. And one such product is paraffin wax. And if you've got to deliver that at 180 degrees, and it falls below 130, 150, 130, 120, it'll freeze up like a candlestick inside your tanker trailer. And not a thing you can do about it. But I remember this one trip to Estevan, Saskatchewan. And I knew I was going to have to get steamed up because that's so many miles. You know, that's like 3 days north from Houston, that I was going to have to go to, there's no steaming facility within a day's drive. And I ended up having to go to a steaming facility in Winnipeg and drive across Canada to Estevan, which was an interesting, across the, what do they call it? The Trans-Alberta, or the Trans-Canada, I said Alberta, Trans-Canada highway. And there's not a whole lot out there. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, it's not like you're driving through the Rocky Mountains. The Canadian Rockies, that is. And I got about, I don't know, 75% there, and the storm kicked in, and that last 2 hours was hellacious, driving into Estevan. But I got there for delivery on the next morning at temperature, so that's a good thing. very nice scent on that Mountain Man soap. It's a masculine scent. I wouldn't describe it as piney so much. I wouldn't describe it. It is, it gives you, because you got the picture in your head of the Mountain Man, it does give you a sense of the outdoors. Now, I don't know if that's subliminal or if there's something that's actually intended to give you a sense of the outdoors in the scent. I can't answer that. No, my objective, when I come in off of a long run, Salt Lake City, Oregon, California, Northern California, my objective is to get caught up on my slate, get caught up on my rest, be ready to go, you know, and have some fun, whether that be watching a movie or going fishing. There's usually not a lot of honeydews. They're just real simple, you know, clean the cat box kind of things. This razor is thin in its geometry. It's got a good spine on it, so I'm not worried about that. But I'm not worried about anything on this razor, but I was going to comment on how loudly it's singing. And it's just loud, loud, loud. Now, having a real good shave, enjoying this. Good razor blade, good soap, good brush. Let's see, we're at 42 minutes. I'll probably go ahead and record the head shave and the application. Be sure to stay tuned for the application of the refinements. Now, I read the thread at the Shaving Cadre on the Osage rub, and you know, it does smell medicinal, eucalyptus, menthol sort of scent to it. It doesn't last long, and I carry a bottle with me in the truck. I've got six or seven aftershaves. Almost all of them are panade in the truck with me. They're inexpensive. But I carry the Osage rub particularly for its medicinal. I got a small first aid kit, you know, but and it's very easy to get yourself into a situation where you're remote and off in the woods somewhere, off on some deserted highway, and you end up with a gash. And not that it's happened to me too severely, it hasn't. I've had small cuts and abrasions, yes. And sometimes those small cuts and abrasions were inflicted by a straight razor. Oh, what am I going to do about this? You know, I teased, I guess it was Barber Dave, when he cut his finger that one time on camera. And I said, you ought to make yourself a trucker's bandage, you know. And so, what's a trucker's bandage, you might ask? Paper towel and duct tape. It works fine. It works fine. All right, we're doing fine. Good slickness on the soap, but you would expect that from Stirling Soap Company. They always do a fine job on most of their soaps. I can't think of any off the top of my head that have performed subpar. It's a good thick and rich lather as well. The Mountain Man. Okay. During this time of year, I always like going up north, get out of the hot Houston temperatures, get into the cooler climates. Okay, very nice. Okay. We're doing all right. I hope you're still with me. Yeah, we're going a little long, but all right. Okay, let's rinse her off and see what we got, and we'll move on with the head shave and the application of the refinements. I'm going to get some hot water, some fresh hot water going here. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's get under the head. And so we've used the C-Mon hand-forged HF on the tang. Beautiful scales. We're going to close that up here. A little wipe off on the wet rag, a little wipe off on the dry rag. And set that aside. And we're going to go with the Union razor, also sharpened on a Arkansas hard black. And I did use the clippers on clipping my sides today, so I'm not going to be too particular about the lines until I get a day or two, or 3 or 4, of growth to help define, but I'm going to use that as an outline. I'll be close. It was fun to watch, when was it? Yesterday morning, I was watching Barber Dave, and you know how he uses his little rag there to get in behind the ears, you know, he didn't use the exact same language, but my language is define the work area, which is what I do up here. You gotta define your work area. But he used, I don't remember the exact wording, but he used some words that were similar to mine, and I'm going, yeah. It just feels like a hot knife through butter. When everything is clicking right, all the equipment is working right, all the tools are working right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, that looks good enough for right now. I had to lean in a little bit so I could see that hairline coming down right there. When the hair gets real short like this, after I've clipped it with the clippers, it's hard to see the hairline, and so I've got to move in close my eyesight. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, almost done here. Do the back of the neck and we will be done. Not going to use any soap this time. The hair is short. This thing will trim real easy. Okay. Now that was the downstroke. We'll do a quick wipe off and do an upstroke on it. That makes me feel better. All right, dry the blade with the dry rag. I'll do a complete stropping and cleanup later after I get done here. And so that'll do. That'll do. The head looks like it's, well, yeah, that's fine. Get a couple of days of growth on there and that'll tell me more. And this is okay. All right, here's the Osma Allen block. It's not very much, but we don't throw things away prematurely. Little sting, not much. Of course, I like a good healthy sting anyway. Lets me know I've done something. All right, there's that. And I know some people will wash off. The most I ever do with the moth Allen block is do a wet pat on it, followed by a dry pat. And I've been thinking about, but I've decided against it. I'm just going to enjoy the nice shave and the shiny finish. So I'm not going to follow with a powder bomb. But here we got the Thayers. I'm putting on the Thayers Lavender. There you go. And it feels very nice, of course. Okay, what's next? Osage. Here's my Osage rub. Here we go. Got a nice, healthy handful here. And there's a medicinal feel, alcohol feel to it. And, you know, a little sting. But, you know, that's all right. All right, so that's the end of the shave. That's the end of the application of the refinements. It smells great. I feel great. And we'll see you. My next shave probably maybe Sunday morning, but because it's a weekend, I'll be off with my wife. Going down to the truck Sunday night. I want to get that last shave before I leave done here at the house rather than the driver's room down there. You've seen some of those. And so then that would make my next shave probably Tuesday night out on the road. So thank you for watching, and I will see you down the road.